Hey guys, Max here. I have heard so many pieces of bad advice being a financial coach. It is truly unbelievable, some of the things I've heard that are just literally completely not true. False, the exact opposite of truth. Here are 10 common myths I hear, and then maybe you believe a couple. So if you want to get rich, let's throw these in the waste bin of history. The first one being credit is the devil or unimportant. This usually comes from people who have had parents who've had trouble with their credit or have abused it and it comes to bite them in the rear end. Pay cash for everything, right? Well, in a place like the coast, which is what I live on, California, the coast, not many people have a couple $100,000 or more to buy a piece of property or to buy a home. So sometimes you gotta take out a mortgage. And a lot of times, the tax advantages and inflation make it so you're almost paying cash. It's just over a long period of time. And I know people who pay only in cash would go crazy me telling them that, but it's true. Inflation eats up dollars like nobody's business. Credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, although those are not really the best. Credit is like a tool. It's like a screwdriver. You use it to unscrew a screw. Can you imagine using a hammer to get that screw out? It's the wrong tool. Figure out what tool works the best and use it to your advantage. Because that's all credit is. A tool to be used to your advantage. Second one, paying the minimum payment will help your credit score. Now, to give the devil his due, I guess it may, perhaps, but the fact of the matter is this: you're going to pay crazy interest, somewhere between 10 and 25%, maybe even 29% APR over the time you have the credit card. And when you only pay the minimum payment, almost all of that goes towards interest if you have any decent balance on there. So I guess it could, but it really, really doesn't. And the counter advice, the true advice, is when you use a credit card and you put $500 on it for the month, pay off that $500 in full. So you better have that $500 in your checking account. If you don't have it, then don't use the credit card and don't buy whatever you're buying. We have a extreme addiction of buying and purchasing things because it gives our brain a little bit of dopamine, which feels good. So if you don't have the money, it's very, very foolish to put on a credit card. Third one, the best way to deal with credit card debt is by consolidating it in a personal loan. And again, to give the devil his due, it may work. May. And I say may on a very, very broken, fractured bridge that's about to fall off. Because if you haven't learned the mindset of being rich, there is 0.0% chance you will ever be able to act like a rich person. If you simply move credit card debt to personal loans and still use the credit cards and accumulate more debt, now you have the credit cards and the consolidation personal loan, which may be lower interest, but you're still not relearning habits, and actually not just relearning, but acting upon good advice. And that good advice is paying off your credit cards and having almost zero balance, only when completely necessary. The next one, and I hear this in so many circles, it's almost like having money now is a sin against humanity. Having a lot of money means you're greedy. And I guess there's a lot of factors to this, income inequality and things of that nature, but the fact of the matter is this: just because someone is a multi-millionaire does not make them greedy. It actually probably makes them less greedy. They probably think about money less than you and I because they have so many people working for them. Think about it like that. The more money you have, the less you have to think about it. The less money you have, the more you think about it. So which one is actually greedy? I've heard many times, your income and what you get from the world is in direct and exact proportion to how much value you bring to others and how many people you help in the process. Not many people became super rich by screwing everybody around them. I don't think that actually exists. You have to bring value to others or you will not have success monetarily. I don't know about you, but having money does not make anyone greedy, and when I have a hell of a lot of money, like this green shirt I'm wearing, lots of green, I won't be greedy because I have come to the point where being generous is far better than anything in the world. Buying a house is the best thing to do. Again, bad advice, because for every situation there is very specifics that need to be considered. Do you plan on moving in a year? Do you plan on staying for your whole entire life in the place? Those are all considerations. Not every single financial decision has to be made with dollars and cents. And that's tough for me because I'm like a money nerd and get down to the really nitty gritty pennies. But that doesn't always make sense. You have to really think about trajectory over the long term, where you're going to be, and is buying a house a good idea? How's the real estate market in the area you're buying in? These are all questions you have to consider, but just simply saying buying a house is a good idea. Getting a car loan will help me establish credit. Yes, and this is a double-edged sword because I've taken out a car loan at about 2% when inflation is 2%. So I'm really paying almost zero. So again, every situation is different. It may be a good idea. It may not be. If you have to go for a high interest 15% car loan, I would do my best to buy a $2,000 car and run that till the wheels fall off. You have to remember, you're making a monthly payment on an asset that is pretty much guaranteed to depreciate over the life. So that means you have a 5-year car loan, you spent $20,000 in the car, it might be worth half that at the end of the loan. And those numbers suck. But again, if you're able to find some financing that is almost nothing, very, very little, there's some financing that's 0% APR, 0.9% APR, 1%. When it's that tiny, you're actually ahead at the end of the game if you take the car loan, as opposed to paying cash. It's the future value and present value of money. Yes, it's not fun to do, but it's a good consideration to think about. Because a lot of times, it's a bad idea to take the loan out, but sometimes it's a good idea to take the loan out. So, crunch the numbers and figure out for yourself. Financial advisors will take care of your money, so you don't have to do anything. Right. Oh man, this one makes me go absolutely cuckoo. What is a financial advisor? Someone who has a license from the state that says they can advise on financial management? The qualification to become a financial advisor, I don't care how hard the test is, a lot of times these people have nothing in their bank account. They are simply good at selling things and having an income and blowing it on their brand new Mercedes-Benz. And believe me, I love Mercedes just like anybody, but these people are not the people you want to take advice from. You want to find someone who is a practical advisor, a practical person who has done what you want to do. If you're a real estate person like me, and you know someone who has 10 plus rental properties, and they have them all rented out, and they have the rents coming every single month, get connected with that person and ask them a billion questions, because a lot of times when people have already come to this wealth point, more or less, they want to give back. But there's not many young people excited about finance. There's not. My community, the personal finance community, is so tiny. It's smaller than tiny. However, you can find someone who has had the success that you want to have in your life, connect with them, build a relationship, and go buy them a cup of coffee. Because most good things start with a cup of coffee. And that's the counter advice. Financial advisors a lot of times have good stuff. I'm not bashing on all of them. I'm just simply saying most of the time they don't know how to build wealth. They know how to sell you products that enrich them, not you. Always, always, always do your own research. Always. A 401k or IRA is the best investment you can make for the long term. I'm going to say yes to this one. Yeah, I know. I'm doing a video on the myths. Yes, for most people. People who understand finance a little more granular and don't trust financial advisors or mutual fund managers like myself want to take it in their own hands. And I would imagine if you're watching this video, you want to take your finance into your own hands, which means you don't want to trust someone else with your money. And when you're investing in a 401k or IRA, you are, in a sense, trusting the mutual fund manager or the specific stock you're picking to perform. And yes, lots of people have made lots of money over the whole entire time this country has been established on making money in the stock market. It's very possible. I am just simply a little more conservative. I like to be able to touch things, to feel things. That's why real property is encouraging to me, because it seems as though whoever owns the dirt and the buildings, they seem to always have the upper hand in everything. Because it's a hell of a lot harder to seize a building on a piece of land than it is a stock. A stock is something, where is the stock? Oh, the stock is there, the stock is here. It's not tangible. And I'm all about tangible things, because when the apocalypse comes, your 401k does not do anything. And I am by no means fear-mongering. I simply stay ready. I am prepared for if the power grid goes down, if we have a solar flare. There's so many things that may happen. Our existence and very equilibrium as the human race and the earth in general is very fickle. It can disappear very quickly, and I don't know about you, but I like to stay prepared for nearly anything. This one makes me laugh. Budgets are only for uptight penny pinchers. This is hilarious because people will say that, yet they'll watch Shark Tank the same night when they have a 30-page business plan on how they're going to return money back to the investors. Yeah, that's a business plan that's about 100 times more complex than a budget. A budget is simply how much money you earn every month and your expenses and your asset accumulation, whether it be real estate, 401k, whatever it is. There's really only 3 spots to it. Really only 2, honestly. Money taken in, money going out. You want it to be a surplus every single month. And that seems very difficult? I don't know about that. Difficult. I spend 1 hour a month on my finances. Yes, 1 hour per month. It doesn't take a long time. Once you have systems in place, it doesn't take a long time at all. It truly, truly doesn't. And the hour I spend on my finances has helped me eliminate so much unnecessary spending on stupid things that I'm never going to use. And I still have some of those things. I laugh at them sometimes. I look at my garage and think, am I ever going to use that? Have I used it? Yeah, one time. Oh, 3 years ago. Why did I buy it? I don't know. Because I have the addiction of spending just like everyone else. But the budget gives you a plan, because if you simply don't have a plan, you will fail. Miserably. Over and over again. You gotta have a written plan. Period. And then the last one. Claiming zero on your W-4 is the best. And maybe it will be for you. I just don't like this. When you put 0 on a W-4, you will be taxed at the highest rate. Which means if you have any deductions, any children, anything whatsoever, I don't have any kids. I still do this. When you put a higher number, they don't take quite as much tax, and you have less of a refund. I don't know about you, but giving the government an interest-free loan until April of the next year, I'm not a fan. I am simply not a fan. Give me the money, give me the freedom to choose what I'm going to do with it, and I will do accordingly. So I've had up to 4 on my W-4. Yes, 4 exemptions on my W-4. But that may not work for you, so figure out what's best for your situation. I just know that I've heard the put 0 and you're good to go, but the reality is I am better suited to handle the money than anybody else. Because in reality, it's my money. I do it whatever I want, within reason. Those are, seriously, I've heard all these. It's crazy. These are the 10 myths that I hear on a weekly basis. It's incredible how pervasive these things are. However, there's more though. What myth have you believed or have you heard that's complete bogus advice? Comment below right this second. I want to know, because I want to laugh with you, and hopefully we can overcome these and put the counter correct advice more into the stream than the convoluted, murky, bad advice. That was fun. I will see you guys next time, and happy penny pinching.